My name is Nathan Cross, and I'm about to tell you something that'll make you question everything you think you know about life, death, and the space between. 3 years ago, my wife Ilara died. Not passed away. Not left us. Died. In a car accident on Route 47, just outside Portland. A drunk driver crossed the median at 11:43 p.m. on a Tuesday. She was coming home from her book club. They told me she didn't suffer. People always say that. Like it helps. It doesn't. The funeral was on a Saturday. Sunny. Ironically beautiful. I remember thinking how wrong that felt. How the sky should have been gray and angry, not this brilliant, mocking blue. 217 people came. I counted. I needed something to focus on besides the casket. Her sister, Margot, stayed with me for 2 weeks. Then she had to go back to her life in Boston. Her kids. Her husband. Her normal, non-shattered existence. I told her I'd be fine. I wasn't fine. But you don't burden people with that. You smile. You nod. You say, I'm managing, and taking it day by day, and all those other useless phrases that mean absolutely nothing. The house felt different after Ilara died. Bigger. Emptier. Like the walls had expanded somehow, creating more space for the silence to fill. I started working longer hours at the firm. Corporate law. Mergers and acquisitions. The kind of work that numbs your brain, which was exactly what I needed. I kept her things. All of them. Her clothes still hung in the closet. Her toothbrush stayed in the holder. Her reading glasses sat on the nightstand, right next to the half-finished mystery novel she'd never get to finish. Margot said I should donate some items. For closure, she said. I told her to mind her own business. We didn't talk for 6 months after that. Here's the thing about grief that nobody tells you. It's not linear. It's not even a journey. It's more like a trapdoor that opens randomly beneath your feet. You'll be fine, going about your day, and then you'll smell her perfume on a stranger, or hear a song she loved, and suddenly you're drowning all over again. I managed, though. Somehow. The first year was survival. The second year was learning to exist. The third year, I was almost something resembling functional. Until last Tuesday. I was cleaning out the garage. Not because I wanted to. Because the HOA sent another one of their passive-aggressive letters about maintaining property standards. The garage had become a dumping ground for everything I couldn't deal with. Boxes of Ilara's art supplies. Her bicycle. The kayak we'd bought for a camping trip we never took. That's when I found it. Behind a stack of old paint cans, wrapped in a grocery bag. Her diary. Ilara had kept journals since she was 12. She had dozens of them, filled with her angular, slanting handwriting. After she died, I'd read through most of them. Desperate for some connection to her. Some piece of her I could still touch. But this one, I'd never seen this one before. It was different from her others. Not one of those leather-bound journals she usually bought. This was just a simple black notebook. The kind you'd grab at a drugstore. There was no date on the cover. No decorative touches. Just black. I took it inside. Made coffee. Sat at the kitchen table where we'd eaten 1,000 breakfasts together. Where she'd sit with her feet tucked under her, sipping tea and reading the news on her tablet. Where I now sat alone. I opened the diary. The first entry was dated January 3rd. 3 years ago. Just weeks before she died. I think Nathan suspects something, it read. He asked about my Tuesday nights again. I told him book club runs late. I hate lying to him. But I can't tell him the truth. Not yet. Not until I'm sure. My hand froze on the page. Book club. Her Tuesday nights. The night she died, she'd been coming home from book club. That's what Margot told me. That's what everyone said. I kept reading. The entries were sporadic. Some days had paragraphs. Others just a line or two. But they all circled the same theme. Ilara had been keeping something from me. Something big. February 10th, met with Dr. Reeves again. The tests came back. 6 months, maybe less. I don't know how to tell Nathan. How do you tell someone their world is about to end? My breath caught. Dr. Reeves. I knew that name. Ilara's oncologist. From years ago, when she'd had a cancer scare in our 20s. Benign. Nothing to worry about. We'd celebrated with champagne and Chinese takeout. But this, thought it 6 months, I flipped through faster now, my heart hammering. March 2nd, started chemo. Told Nathan I joined a gym. I can see him noticing the weight loss, the fatigue. I'm running out of excuses. But I need more time. Time to figure out how to say goodbye. March 15th, bad day. Threw up twice. Nathan brought me soup. Said I looked pale. I wanted to tell him everything. But then he started talking about the summer, about the trip to Greece we've been planning. He was so happy. So excited. I couldn't take that from him. April 1st, Margot knows. She confronted me yesterday. Saw the pills in my purse. She wants me to tell Nathan immediately. But she doesn't understand. He lost his mother to cancer. Watching her waste away destroyed him. I can't put him through that again. I won't. The pages blurred. Tears I didn't know I was crying splashed onto the paper, smudging the ink. She'd been dying. The whole time. Those last months together. Every smile. Every laugh. Every ordinary moment. She'd been carrying this. Alone. I wanted to stop reading. But I couldn't. The entries grew shorter as the dates progressed. Her handwriting shakier. April 19th, tired. So tired. But saw Nathan smile today. Real smile. Worth it. April 23rd, Dr. Reeves says weeks now. Not months. Moving faster than expected. April 27th, made arrangements. Margot will handle everything. Nathan will be angry I kept this from him. But I chose love over honesty. I chose giving him 3 more months of happiness over 6 months of watching me die. I'd make the same choice again. The last entry I expected was dated April 29th, the day before she died. Tomorrow is my last treatment. Then I'm done. No more hiding. I'm going to tell Nathan everything tomorrow night. Over dinner. His favorite. Lasagna. I'll tell him I'm sorry for lying. That I love him more than truth. That every moment with him was worth living for. I closed the diary. Pressed my palms against my eyes. Tried to process what I'd just read. She hadn't been having an affair. Hadn't been pulling away. She'd been dying. Protecting me. Giving me a gift I never knew I was receiving, normalcy. Joy. 3 more months of us, untainted by sickness and fear. And then that drunk driver took even that choice away from her. I sat there for hours. Until the coffee went cold. Until the sun set. Until the kitchen filled with shadows. Then I opened the diary again. To put it away. To add it to the box of her things I kept in the closet. That's when I saw it. Another entry. On the next page. But that was impossible. I'd read the last entry. April 29th. The day before she died. My hands shook as I looked at the date written at the top of this new page. Today's date. October 27th, 2025. The handwriting was hers. That same angular slant. The same way she looped her YS. Nathan, it read. If you're reading this, it means you finally found this diary. Took you long enough. Check behind the loose brick in the fireplace. 3rd row from the bottom, left side. I left something for you there. I love you. I never stopped. I stared at those words until they stopped making sense. This wasn't possible. Ilara was dead. I'd watched them lower her casket into the ground. I'd stood at her grave every Sunday for 3 years. But that was her handwriting. I knew it better than my own. I stood up. Walked to the living room like a man in a dream. Knelt in front of the fireplace we'd never used because the flue was broken and we'd kept meaning to fix it but never got around to it. 3rd row from the bottom. Left side. I pressed on each brick until one shifted. Moved. Pulled free. Inside the hollow space behind it was a small box. Wooden. About the size of a deck of cards. I pulled it out. Sat back on the floor. Opened it. Inside was a USB drive. And a note. The note was in her handwriting. Fresh. Recent. The ink still smelled new. Play this when you're ready. But Nathan, be sure you're ready. Some truths change everything. I don't remember walking to my office. Don't remember turning on the computer. It was like watching myself from outside my body. Like I was a character in someone else's story. I plugged in the USB drive. One file. A video. Dated today. October 27th, 2025. 3 hours ago. I clicked play. The screen filled with static for a moment. Then cleared. And there she was. Ilara. My wife. My dead wife. Sitting in what looked like a coffee shop I didn't recognize. She was wearing clothes I'd never seen. Her hair was shorter. Styled differently. But it was her. Unmistakably her. Hi, Nathan, she said, looking directly into the camera. I know what you're thinking. This isn't possible. I died. You buried me. And you're right to think that. Because you did. You buried someone 3 years ago. But it wasn't me. My heart stopped. I'm sorry, she continued. I'm so sorry. But I need you to listen. Really listen. Because what I'm about to tell you will sound insane, but it's true. Every word of it. She took a breath, looked off camera for a moment, then back. The cancer was real. Terminal. Dr. Reeves gave me 6 months. But there was an option. An experimental treatment. Highly illegal. Something they were testing in a facility outside the country. It wasn't chemo. It was cellular regeneration. A complete biological reset. But here's the catch. To do it, I had to die first. Legally. Officially. Every record. Every piece of my identity. Erased. It was the only way to protect the program. Protect the people involved. And protect you. She wiped her eyes. There was an accident they used. A real accident. Someone else died in that crash, Nathan. A woman with no family. No one to claim her. The researchers, they arranged everything. The body. The identification. They made it look like me. Because I had to disappear completely for the treatment to work. For me to survive. I begged them to let me tell you. They said no. That the treatment was too experimental. That if it failed, you'd have known I was alive and then lost me twice. So I agreed. I let you think I was dead. I let you grieve. Because I thought it was kinder than the alternative. But I've been alive, Nathan. This whole time. The treatment worked. I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm living under a different name in Vancouver. And I've spent every single day of these 3 years thinking about you. Missing you. Wondering if I made the right choice. She leaned closer to the camera. I left that diary where you'd find it eventually. I needed you to understand why I lied. Why I kept the cancer from you. And I needed you to have a choice now. Because that's what I took from you before. Choice. If you want to find me, there's information on this drive. An address. A phone number. I'll wait. For as long as it takes. But if you can't forgive this. If this is too much. I understand. I'll disappear again. For real this time. And you can go on with your life. But Nathan. Her voice cracked. I never stopped loving you. Not for 1 second. You were the reason I fought to survive. You're still the reason. The video ended. The screen went black. I sat there. Staring at nothing. My mind completely empty and completely full at the same time. Then I checked the USB drive for the other files. An address in Vancouver. A phone number with a Canadian area code. And one more video file. Dated yesterday. I opened it. Ilara again. Same coffee shop. But this time she wasn't alone. A little girl sat next to her. Maybe 4 years old. With Alaris eyes. And my nose. This is Lily, Alara said softly. Your daughter. Our daughter. She was born 8 months after I left. I know this is a lot. I know I'm asking the impossible. But she deserves to know her father. And you deserve to know she exists. The little girl waved at the camera. Hi, Daddy, she said. And my entire world shattered and rebuilt itself in the same moment. I'm standing in my bedroom now. The diary is on the bed. The USB drive in my pocket. My suitcase is open. In 4 hours, I'll be on a flight to Vancouver. To an address I've memorized. To a woman who died 3 years ago. To a daughter I didn't know existed. I don't know what I'll say when I get there. I don't know if I can forgive what she did. The lies. The grief. The 3 years of emptiness. But I know this, I'm going. Because even though she's been dead for 3 years, she wrote in her diary today. And I need to know what happens next.